hadn't intended to start my video with this, but I just came across it. I was scrolling through Twitter. Twitter was eating my little bit of dark chocolate before making a vlog, and came across this. There's two lots of demonstrations going on today. There's the anti-fascist stop the far right demonstration going on, and there will be far right people demonstrating. So, you know, I think it's very brave of the anti-racist people being there, because as we know, the far right don't have many morals. And I sort of worry that at the end of the day there'll be sort of violence. And note that Tommy Robinson handed himself in at Folkestone Police Station yesterday and has been arrested. And I'm thinking, you fucking coward. Just because he didn't want to be there. But anyway, there's a plonker. I don't know whether this is going to be the right way around. I might do this as well. Oh, oops. Without looking it up, what is this piece of equipment? It's very clever. I have just completed, I'm celebrating, hence the chocolate, just completed 6 months of filing. And I'm really pleased. But what happens is, it's like, you know, the stuff comes through and it goes out into the hallway, and it's just piled up. And and then it gets to a point where I can't do it, you know, I can't. And I worked out some of that is that it hurts my hands pulling files out, putting files in. The filing cabinet's getting heavier and thicker. You have to keep paperwork here for 7 years. So what I really need to do, and maybe that's what I'll do tomorrow, is take some of the files out and dump some that are more than 7 years old, things that I don't need. But for the moment, the filing's done and I'm really pleased, really pleased. I'd meant to do it when Mark was in hospital, but he wasn't gone long enough. I said it to him earlier and I went, you weren't gone long enough. He went, oh, sorry, but he wasn't. And then I had all that crap going on with the bloody cat that just completely discombobulated me, I suppose. So I had a really poor night's sleep the night Mark was admitted and never really caught up. So anyway, that's done. And I think that's thanks to the steroids. I can certainly feel that I've had extra steroids. I'm walking really well. My body's moving really well. But I can't have those for long. I can have them for one more day tomorrow, then I have to stop. Because otherwise I'll be struggling. And I've got a rheumatology appointment in 4 weeks. And I need to have been back to my normal dose for a while, because I have a blood test just before to look at my C-reactive protein levels, and if they're very low, which they have been pretty low, it shows that I haven't got any inflammation, but my body and my hands normally would say otherwise. So I don't want those results to be skewed. Talking of skewed results, two things. I don't want to do that. I want to go there. This is for people that look at Twitter. Oh, where have I written it? The thing about Twitter is that it's owned by Musk, and he skewed the algorithm so that it looks like on Twitter that Trump is ahead. And the problem is, so that what he skewed it, and there's lots of bots on there that are bringing Trump stuff to the fore. The algorithm's pushing that. So it looks like Trump's ahead, but he isn't. So that's really irritating, and it gets worrying, and you forget, and then you think, hold on a minute. The other thing was that I watched the Rest is Politics US, or still watching it, actually, and then went off to do the filing, so I still got a bit to watch. And Catty K had gone out with some canvassers. I can't remember where she was now. But I was saddened to understand that there are still people out there that don't know who Kamala is and don't know when the election is. And for a bit, it was like, what? And then I realised if you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, there's people sitting on the bottom two rungs, just struggling to survive, struggling to manage their lives, holding on precariously. The election is not really in their orbit. And so that for me suggests that, or that's why the excuse I'm making that these people don't know this stuff, I'm imagining that, I can't remember what word they used to describe them, but these are people that are not really likely to vote anyway. Low interest, that wasn't what they used, but they used something. There'd be other ways of describing them, but I won't do that. Yeah, so that's going on. Trump did an interview with someone, and it took so long that he had a rally somewhere and the people were all waiting, and he spoke to them from the plane by video message saying, I'll be with you in 2 hours. And they'd already been hanging around for 2 or 3 hours. He just doesn't give a shit about his followers, does he? Doesn't give a shit. So, in our news, Mark drove yesterday for the first time, which is good. He didn't drive in the way that he normally drives, which I was interested in. I felt that he was a little slower than he normally is. He's normally a bit heavy on the. Oh, he wouldn't like me to say. Well, I didn't like him saying I needed to practice driving. He's sometimes heavy on the accelerator. So he drove yesterday, and we went down to the hospital to try and get an ordinance for his physio that we still haven't got, and they haven't given us one, and we've got to wait till Monday for Dr. Lawson to be back. It makes no sense why the secretary can't just issue a bloody ordinance. I don't know. We went to take back the thing that we bought to put his compression stockings on, which broke after the second use. So that went back, and we had to wait to find out whether we'll get a reimbursement, which we will. She emailed me, the pharmacy emailed and said, yes, you'll get a reimbursement, but I haven't got the receipt they have, so I got to go back with my phone. We went to Subaru, and I did a bit of shopping just to get us over the weekend, and but I bought 2 nice pieces of cod, and I haven't got any parsley, and I want to make parsley sauce, so we're going to go out. I'm going to get him to drive me up to Intermarché in a bit so I can get some parsley, and we need coffee beans. And I'm about to do his dressing. When we were younger, when we first got together 24 years ago, we'd go for walks. We were in Kent then, and we'd go for walks, and I was never really a walker, but because I wanted to be with him and wanted him to be pleased with me, I walked with him. And we'd be marching up through the orchards in Kent or up a hill and he'd stop and I'd be behind, and I'd catch up, and by the time I caught up, he'd be ready to move on again, and off he went, giving me no time to recover. Just now, I've spent 20 minutes out there with my trusty friend. It's my little boombox with Queen blaring. So I spent 20 minutes filing. Lots of energy, good. Struggling to get in and out of the files, but I'll sort that. But needed to come and sit down. And as soon as I sat down, I could hear him coming through, ready for his dressing. And I went, I need a break now. So he's having another coffee, and then I'll do it. And then on Monday, so today's Saturday, on Monday, he'll have his stitches removed. Or his staples removed, or every other one removed, which is a good thing. That's really happy about now. Now, somebody said something to me, and you can imagine my response to it. Somebody doesn't know me, doesn't know my situation, doesn't give a shit about my situation. Also, could you stop recording yourself doing YouTube channels and do your dishes? I do them daily. It takes about 10 minutes. Well, fuck off. One, it wouldn't take me 10 minutes because I can't move as quickly as other people. And two, fuck you. I sort of imagine it. One, I imagine it being maybe a bloke, Jimbo Slice, 9/11. Maybe it's a bloke, probably somebody fit, probably somebody 20 or 30 years younger than me. You know, it would have been the same for me 20 or 30 years ago when I was well. It would have been the same for me 10 years ago when I was well. But I haven't been well for 8 or 9 years. And so things like that don't take 10 minutes and they take energy. And I need that energy. And if I've used it for something else, like managing the chickens or cooking a meal or changing his dressing because I'm caring for somebody at the moment, I can't do the fucking dishes. So fuck off. Oh, that feels better. I couldn't say fuck off in comments. I never say fuck off to people in comments because it's written. And I think that then that might get reported. But so I don't say it in comments, but it's what I think. Told me I know nothing about US politics. Stella, stay the hell out of our business. Fuck off. My business is the leader of the free world. My business is the person that's going to become another tyrant. So fuck off. Okay. That's it really. So yeah, we're going to go and I'm going to go and get some parsley and some coffee beans. And first I'm going to do his dressing. Mrs. Cuckoo Maren's still doing Mrs. Cuckoo Maren. She is eating and she is drinking. Not enough to keep her going. Not enough to put flesh on her, but enough to keep her going. And Jazz on that blanket yesterday, I moved her. So she was on that blanket. I took a photo of her. And then when we went to sit down, I don't remember what time it was, but she's sitting, so she's in my seat. I lifted her in the blanket and put her on the sofa that we don't use. Put her on it, and she goes to get out then. It's like, so I put my hand on her and held her for 10 seconds as she settled down. And then every time we looked, she was just all curled around in it, even more curled up in it than she had been when I put her there. And she's on it now. It's hard work, isn't it, being a Jazz? Very hard work having to look after that blanket. So yeah, it's not. It is raining. It was planned to rain and it is raining. We didn't have raincoats yesterday. We both got really wet when we came out of the hospital. So unusual for us not to have raincoats, but we didn't. So we got really wet coming out of there. Right, okay. So thanks for watching. Thanks for everybody that has subscribed. Thanks to all the commentators apart from Jimbo Slice 9/11. See you next time.